Well, good morning. Hey, I wanted to cover some perennial foods that just, I guess, amazed me this year through our drought here in Central Texas. We hit well over 100 degrees. I think we may have registered 111 degrees, and there was no rain in that 3-month time frame. But the first one I'm going to talk about is the biggest surprise to me, which is asparagus. I've got it all over the place, but I've got a little patch here and a little patch here. And as you can see, it's self-seeded down here. Now, this has probably been here for a couple of years. It's not the greatest asparagus. Hey, Willie. Willie wants out, but I need to film first. Anyway, it's I guess the big point is it's surviving. Got it on multiple places where I just planted it, forgot about it, and then 2 or 3 years later, it just popped up with no maintenance at all. So I think that's pretty impressive. But I'm going to walk in the terrace to cover some more items. Actually, we're going to stop here at my vetiver swell and show you the vetiver real quick. The horses have been eating it, so they're actually trimming it for me, which is pretty cool. But the reason I'm up here is to show, I guess we'll call this number 2. And this is, I guess, a true native. But probably 3 years ago, I made wine, and you take the Mustang grapes and you mash it, put it in a bucket, and you just let it sit there for 5 days to do the first ferment. I took all the mashed stuff and I just threw it on this fence line. Now you can see I've got grapes. I mean, that's all I did, was just threw the grapes out there. I've been trying to buy or establish hybrid grapes for years, and I've never been able to get them to go. Maybe get them to leaf out on the second season, and that's it. But these Mustang grapes are going on their own, and I'm super excited about that. This year, I picked probably 6 gallons of them and made juice out of it, and it was a very tasty juice. So, like I said, I'm super excited about that. But Mustang grapes, they're not an eating grape, but if you juice, yeah, Mustang grapes are great. Like I said, I just threw the seeds out. Fermented seed out, and they grew. And I think just on this fence row, I think I picked 1 gallon of grapes. But I mean, I've got huge ones on my property. All right, we're still heading our way to the terrace. So I'm here at the entrance of my terrace and just showing you some more asparagus. I think you can see them in here. This area received no water. When I had drip running through here, the drip didn't make it through. So basically I planted the crowns. Nothing else happened, and hoping you can see them here. There you go. Anyway, did nothing, and they grew. And this is my dry area, so I got a Palo Verde that I planted here. Then I've got a mesquite that sprouted by itself over here, and I'm going to let them grow to get some shade. While we're walking to number 3, I think we covered 2 items so far. Going over my waffle cutouts in my terrace. I added mulch to one of them. Well, I guess I'll just kind of give you an update. You can see here I've got 7 blackberry plants I planted. I got a plum tree I planted there. Then I got a persimmons over here. And I added mulch to one of these squares, kind of viewer comment thing. I wasn't happy with the mulch. My wood chip pile over here, it'd been moved a couple of times and it picked up a lot of dirt. So I wasn't real happy with it, so I just did 1 mulch for now. If I can get some more chips, I'll add to it. All right, let's go to number 3. It's known as wolfberry, and it's known as goji berry. You can see here they're in full bloom, or full fruit. Little bitty fruits. When I looked it up, they're a superfood. If you eat them like this, they kind of got a light pepper taste to them. But if you turn them into raisins, dehydrate them, they really sweeten up pretty good, and they're pretty awesome. But I planted them up by my house, and then I dug a couple of them up and put them over here. And there again, anything I planted small like this, like blackberries and little pomegranate trees, Nanking cherry, gooseberry, they all died. But this one just took off on its own. In fact, I've even mowed this over and it came back. So that's, we'll call that goji berry or wolfberry is number 3. Just planted it, did nothing, and it worked. All right, number 4 is multiplying onions. Now I'll give you some history. Like I said, this thing was built 2018, 2019, so it's several years old. Every herb I can think of, I planted down this terrace. Rosemary, lemongrass, oregano. These multiplying onions are something my brother had given me. And you know, I think onions are maybe why they do good is I consider down here onions being a winter crop. If you plant them by seed, you're planting them. Like the best onion here is a 1015Y onion, which means you plant the seed on October 15th. So onions, I guess, they sprout in the winter time and they mature in the springtime. Anyway, you can see I've got here, 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 and here. Like I said, they've been out here a few years and literally just planted one and they just bunch out. And I can actually pull one to show you what it looks like. There you go. I mean, these are not as big as what you'd see in the garden up by my house, but definitely definitely working. I mean, they're surviving. I almost say these are not just surviving, they're thriving. There's another one right there. Anyways, that's pretty cool. Planted, walked away, didn't do nothing, and they survived. And let's go. I got a tree for you also. I got to walk over there. I'm gonna turn the camera off. Anyway, before I move out of here, I went ahead and replanted these. So I divided it up into 4 new plants and just replanted them. So they'll take off from there. This isn't going to count in the tally, but just something I found. I'm pretty sure that's switchgrass, and looks like we may even have some seed heads. I had a viewer, when I was talking about vetiver, had a viewer tell me there was a native alternative, which is switchgrass, and I'm pretty sure that's it. And I guess the only reason it's thriving here is probably neither the mower nor the animals can get to it. Like I said, I don't do a lot of mowing, but a lot of deer pressure too. Anyway, I got switchgrass all through here, and I believe I'm going to come back and snip some of the seed heads and put them around my sediment pond, because I'd love to get it established over there. Anyway, I'm going to still head over to the last item, which is a tree. All right, well, I'm almost to the tree, but thought I'd show you this real quick also. I don't know if this is invasive from just, you know, potted plants or plants, shrubbery around the house, but this is lantana, multicolored lantana. Maybe a native, maybe invasive, but it's all over on my property. See another one back over here. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's about one of the few flowers that'll just bloom during the heat of the summer. And what was cool, like a few weeks ago, I was out walking around and there was a eastern swallowtail butterfly was like on these flowers. This isn't food, so I'm not going to count this because this was about perennial foods. But lantana is something that will just survive on its own. I mean, I've got it. I mean, I've probably got on my 18 acres, probably 15 or 20 of them around, if not more. Anyway, very good plant. That would probably be in the classification of xeriscaping, I guess. But the tree I wanted to tell you about is jujube, which does produce a fruit which is similar to a date. I have not gotten any fruit. Honestly, I don't even know if I like them because I haven't gotten the fruit and haven't tasted them. But it's a cool tree, and I'm gonna get out of let me get underneath the cedar tree here. Nice little drizzle going on. I actually was gonna do my down view picture with a drone so I can show my waterworks. Anyway, jujube tree, literally planted it, walked away. Here, if you don't water them the first year and the second year, the trees are done. I planted 2 of these things. I walked away, didn't do anything to them, and they survived. And I think they're a native to like the Afghanistan area. But what I really liked about them, one, they are food producing. Can't tell you whether they're good or not. But number 2, I don't care what time of year it is, this thing is just beautiful and defect free. I mean, in the heat of the summer, where everything else is, you know, you look at the leaves and bug pressure, wilting from the drought, all that stuff. You walk up to the jujube, and it looks like it's springtime. I mean, just no flaws on the leaves at all. Anyway, I really like it. Anyway, I've got a ling and a lang. I think one of them you harvest when it's wrinkled, the other one you don't, I think. But you just have to look it up on your own. I really don't know. But I've probably had this maybe 4 years. Didn't do anything to it but plant it. The only thing I can say is I probably shouldn't have put it in the shade, but I'm convinced that even if I didn't, it would still survive. But there's the other one. I got it wrapped up in a cage. But it's got some good height to it. I mean, I've got pecan trees that I planted a couple years earlier than that, and they're struggling. And I'm going to show you one just to give you an example. I'll go right around the corner here, and I'm at my new road. Anyway, here's a pecan tree right here, and I mean, it's not even 6 foot tall, where the other one's probably 12 feet tall. Anyway, so that was roughly 4 or 5 perennials that survived the not just the extreme droughts we have here in central Texas, but I can say for certainty that all of these also survived that 2-week freeze event we had, because all of these have been here since then. Anyway, y'all have a great day.